eliminate the concept of a non-voting meeting and just simply acknowledge that all council meetings are voting meetings.
Okay, well, you're gonna make a motion that we rescind that policy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion?
You know, I'm opposed to that, but I'm not gonna go into any depth as to the reasoning, as I think it's, the main reason only is that with having the work session, we give the public plenty of advance notice of anything that we vote on, and I particularly like that, and therefore I'm against abandoning this policy.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Ordinance of the City of Canton dated 6th day of March 2008 identifies in section 2-40 work sessions, regular meetings. And it just says that we do what we do. We meet at 6 o'clock on the first Thursday, and on the third Thursday we meet at 6 o'clock. And one is referred to as a work session, the other referred to as a meeting. But also in the charter, it says that when you have a quorum, you can vote. So it doesn't say you can't vote in this ordinance. And this ordinance should usurp the thing that we kind of threw out on May 17th, 2012. Because we can't change an ordinance unless we put in an ordinance. So the whole conversation is kind of mute. We have the right, the state gives us the right, and we have a quorum, we can vote. When we want to vote, we can vote anytime we want to vote. So their discussion here is nice, but it's mute.
Well, I think, I agree with you. What's in the charter and what we may decide as policy that is more restrictive than what's in the charter, I think we can certainly do. But a policy is a policy. It's not an ordinance. It's just an agreement among the council to do something, and that's what it was. That's all it was, all it ever was. But we did have that agreement, and the council did vote to concur with that policy. And we, quite honestly, many times did not abide by that policy. I personally still think it's the best policy it's a good policy for the council. I think it's a good policy, but I still think there's two functions that it does, and that is it makes us discuss without the pressure. We got to vote on it tonight. You know, we can go back and forth and hear each other's comments and ideas about a particular issue. And number two, it gives the public, who's, for instance, here tonight, the opportunity to listen to what's going on, maybe digest it for a couple of weeks and come back if they didn't like it, you know? Or if they liked it, make favorable comments. So I think it's good policy, but we have a motion and a second. You got something? Okay, go ahead.
I follow the thought process that you have there. I do. But at the same time, discussions that this council has been discussed numerous other times. Example, the off-site, which is going to be coming up here in a little bit, we've talked about that. We talked about the increasing the senior citizens actually chipping in and paying for what service they get. So it wasn't like all of a sudden we pop up with things. We talk about this stuff off and on for a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's come to a point now when somebody thinks of something, we need to take action and move on it. So that's just my statement.
I understand. My feeling on that would be what we do is you're tricking the public when you talk about something for a year or two and then don't talk about it for another year and then bring it up and vote on it one night, because what happens there is they've forgotten about it. They have no idea it's coming up, and it's so that's the only thing is that they wouldn't have any knowledge at that time we were going to be voting to either pass or not pass it. I understand with regard to the council, sure, we may have talked about it, you know, at length months and months ago, or fairly recently. But if it's sometime in the back, the public still ought to have acknowledge when we're gonna vote on that issue, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yes, sir. I wasn't gonna say anything else, but I think you hit on something interesting, the statement, the tricking the public. Like so many government programs, this has had the opposite effect of the intended effect. We thought when we put it in that everybody would know that the first meeting of the month we're not gonna vote. But as a practical matter, as it's turned out, we vote anyway. And we've all participated in voting and bringing things up, and so the public does not know what's gonna happen. But if we just acknowledge what the reality is and what the state law says, every time there's a quorum of the city council, you know, a vote can be taken. Now, votes cannot be taken unless there's public notice. So we'd be bringing it absolutely right in line with the state law. Public notice, quorum, vote. So there would be zero confusion, zero possibility of any confusion. None. Nada. If we just say we're going to be able to vote at every meeting, because that's really the reality.
If you just look at the audience tonight versus the audience at our work session last week or 2 weeks ago, it's probably double. And if you remember, we were talking about this last meeting or our work session, that maybe we should change the name to meetings and not work session, because work sessions generally have the connotation that it's going to be kind of a laborious type of meeting, and therefore I'm not going to go and sit back and listen.